All right, now we're going to talk about meth. All right, we'll educate you on meth a little bit. So I'm realizing that a lot of you guys and ladies, I say guys, but what I mean is ladies and gentlemen. Okay, when I say guys, I group everybody. They assume gender's male there. That's the common way of expressing oneself in the English language jurisdiction of the Hebrew Bible. So we're in the dirty South right here in Louisiana. That's how I talk. Okay, I know a lot about meth. Um, You know, you could say I'm not proud of it. I mean, what's there to be proud or unproud of? It's just a thing that you do, knowing a lot about math, like a scientist. Okay, so I'm a scientist who knows a lot about math. And I know a lot about it. Despite my uh, Hebrew Southern accent, it's not because I'm from the South. It's not because I chew tobacco that I know a lot about math. It's just that I know a lot about math. Okay, so I've done years of research on it. It's a proven fact that I'm uh, equipped to talk about the subject of meth because of the research chemicals that I have studied uh, underneath the microscope almost, you know what I mean? And so I've seen it in various forms, d- tried it myself in various ways, did it various things to it, um, obtained it in various ways, um, exchanged with it in various ways, interacted with others on it in various ways. You name it, okay? So I know a lot about it. So hear me out. It's gonna get better. Um, I might be the world's leading expert on meth. The world's leading expert on meth. So I'm not doing any of it right now, and I haven't in a lot of years. But um, I feel very, very, very aptly qualified to speak. I'm an adept at speaking on meth. All right, so just listen and don't talk very much. Uh, you might not find this very funny if you're a local sheriff or you're a relative of mine or something like that, but I guarantee you it's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be educational, informative. It's just information, okay? Uh, you can say it's not for entertainment. Sure, it can be for entertainment. You can say it's not a public statement from the government. You could say that too, but I work for the government myself. I'm a citizen, private citizen, and um, you know, let's say 10 years down the road from here and you see me carrying a gun and on my way to go vote, that'll prove it, right? Okay. That's all it'd really take is for me to prove it, right? Well, I can't do that right now, but just bear with me. So we'll get to the point of what I was trying to say. Now, in Alcoholics Anonymous and NA, meth is considered to be an alcohol or a alcohol-like substance. It's treated like alcohol in the same way as you would treat someone with an alcoholism problem. Meaning, I don't know what they put an ism on the end of alcohol and called that a disease, but it's what they called it. I call it you drink too much and you got a bad habit of putting yourself down all the time and you need to deal with that self-hate. But uh other than that, people drink for various kinds of reasons. To me, the most common reason people drink is because they hate themselves. So, you know, we can move on from that. Let's get into why people do meth because they hate themselves. No one who loves himself is going to go and shoot up meth. No one who loves himself is going to go smoke a bowl, as they call it, or whatever. Chase that dragon on that tinfoil with a pen tube or whatever you call it. And snort a line of it, hot rail it, shove it up your ass, whatever you want to do with it. You can do it. You can swallow it. You can put it in a capsule. You can even get pharmaceutical grade, I think, in some places. Chemically pure, as close to it as you can get from a pharmacy, methamphetamine. Um, some folks say that the N words, the Nazis, not the Negroes, um, or whatever the colored slang is today, niggas. We don't use slang like that very often. We tend to have an er when we say it here because we're white English speaking folks, and that's just how we talk. If we was gonna sing a rap song where it said my nigga, we might say my nigger, my nigger. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. I ain't trying to be hateful, but anyway, the N word is Nazis. They say that they experimented with it, and there's even a Nazi method of making methamphetamine. So how do you talk about the subject without using a bunch of trigger words? You can't. It makes you act like Hitler. That's what it tends to do around here. Um, so so what's happening a lot of the time is people confuse the drug and the chemical itself, and the result you get from using it with being one and the same thing. The drug and the result you get from using it is en masse. You know, the most people doing it a certain kind of way ends up doing it and looking a certain kind of way and acting a certain kind of way and getting the same kind of result. And that's confused with being one and the same, and it's not one and the same. I can assure you that there was probably a more appropriate way, a more excellent way to do it, and that's probably by not doing it very much, if at all. But if you had a need for it and you did it, and then you didn't do it anymore, that'd be great. If you continued to do it, and you still had a need for it, well, God bless you. You know, Jesus turned water into wine, and He gave it to people who was already drinking. So, in either way, uh, it's an alcohol, right? It only takes a couple few hours to whip you up a batch of it if you know what you're doing. Um, they call me the doctor where I'm from. I had a couple friends that come to me and say, "Man, I heard you really know how to ascertain a thing or two around here." And I say, "Well, buddy, you come to the right place." But anyway, those days are over with, and the person responsible for all that, Satan, I call it, is his days are numbered. We put that behind us. Get behind me, Satan, and never come back in front of me again. If you square up to me, boy, I'll knock your jaw loose from your fucking head. You hear me? So don't come around me and my kin folks with none of that fucking mess shit. Don't use the word tweak when you talk about us. Don't say head, any kind of head, junk head, meth head, crack head, stupid head, dead head. Don't say none of that about me and my kind, because we are free of it. We don't go back, we go forwards. Okay? So I'm going to talk about the effects of it here in a minute. Okay, so what's going on a lot of the time is sleep deprivation and malnutrition. No, number one and number two, and then you might throw in the third. Uh, try glaze. You know, you get three glazes, three glasses of it. Uh, if you do the sleep deprivation, malnutrition, and poor hygiene, you get bad results of using that kind of drug. So some people tend to sleep better than others. Some people tend to acclimate to using the drug in the long term, and you can almost not even tell they're doing it. And others forget to eat, forget to sleep for prolonged periods of time, and they end up sleep deprived and malnourished. And those two things alone will harm you, right? Those two things alone will harm you. Remember that. The third thing is poor self-care, or poor hygiene is part of that. I guess we'll call it poor self-care. So what's happening is there's a lot of negative suggestion in your environment. A, the people you fucking with, and B, you kin folks. So there's a lot of cursing going on, a lot of naysaying, a lot of backbiting, a lot of gainsayers around trying to take power from each other and stuff like that. And it is what it is. Um, Silver and gold I don't have, but what I do have is the Holy Spirit. Be free of all that, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Be free of it. Just let go of it. Just be free of it. I hope that spirit gets off your back one day. I can't guarantee that it'll leave right now, but I'm praying for you, brother, because you know there's a more excellent way to live, and it's free of all of it. Take it up, put it down, whatever you got to do to get free of it. That's how I tend to do things. It's just face it head on, look it in the face, and understand that I'm aware of it. You know, I'm aware of what's going on. I know how people are. I know how they come. But anyway, so sleep deprivation, malnutrition from not eating the right kind of stuff. What it does, it makes you want to eat sugary things, drink sugary drinks, snack cakes and something quick you can grab on the go because you ain't never want to sit still, right? Some people do acclimate to it. There's a newer form of it out nowadays that's a little bit more easy to live on than what it was back in the day when it was just pure old speed. It's a little bit slower nowadays. It's not nothing toxic to it. It's just a different chemical formulation that's being used in the manufacture and the packaging um, of the drug. It's a lot of myth, legend, and lore goes around what's in it. It ain't nothing in it. The probably a lot of the same chemical processes and the same chemicals and the same reagents, reactions, and things that go into it will yield different kinds of drugs that you might buy at the pharmacy, like uh, Benadryl. No, Benadryl, Benadryl, Tylenol, hydrocodone, something like that. A lot of the same things that where they go and extract one thing from another thing from a uh, chemically altering something like a plant material and grabbing hold of using solvents and things like that to get one thing out of another thing and to make it more useful in another kind of way. That's all that is. Um, a skilled and knowledgeable chemist can do it relatively cheaply, safely, and without much harm in the end result. The careless uh, people tend to, not give any fucks about it. So they end up just wanting to get a product as soon as they can, and that's, I've seen that too. So chemically impure products have another effect altogether, but there's a lot of lies, a lot of projection, and a lot of toxic narcissistic behavior towards the addict who's in active addiction that is causing them more problems than they can handle. So they end up breaking down. It's like you put new wine in old wineskins, okay? Okay, just listen. That person, the flesh is weak, the spirit is willing to help, okay? So people, while they're doing the drugs, are also seeking God. It's common myth that says that they're running from God when they do it. Most of them that I know are not running from God. They're intimate with God. There's no armor at all. There's no separation between man and God. So God breaks you down in that chemically altered state, and it does whatever it does to you. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but anyway, that person's body, that person's mind being renewed in a bad kind of way. Well, first of all, they started off hating themselves anyway. Then they get around people who also hate themselves. Then they get hated by their whatever significant other or people around them that's just hating and hating and hating. It's a lot of hate going on, and it's got nowhere to go but to rip a person into pieces. And so you get meth-induced psychosis. It's not intrinsic to the chemical to cause psychosis. Just like a person can take amphetamine or uh, amphetamine-like substances like Vyvanse and do just fine and go to school and do better than they would have done had they not done the drug. So pause to reflect. So a person mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, let's just stick to mentally. We can prove that. Taking care of himself while doing that kind of drug does better than a person who's not taking care of himself. A person who sets boundaries and verbally expresses how he feels or she feels will do better over time in an environment around people that are not so toxic. So you could study this and it will not be just the drug, okay? It will not be just the drug. It is not innate to the drug to cause psychosis. People who enter into drug use, who already have mental illness, um, will not do as well as the people who go into enter into using the drug who do not have mental illness. See? So it is becoming exacerbated through the use of that drug and through the hangings around with people who are using that drug. So, all right, I'm a Christian. Uh, Born probably some kind of Jew. I may not be a Jew, but I'm Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Heard heard somebody say that one time on TV, and I thought that's pretty clever. It stuck with me, so I used it. So do as the Jew and not the Gentile. Be a light to other people. Okay? There's nations all around you, and you see yourself as a Christian nationalist or whatever you see yourself as. Who y'all? Uh, naval intelligence operators and stuff like that end up doing this shit too. And I've heard they even get like chemicals like that during operations. They get some Adderall or whatever they get, to prolong their wakefulness and their focus and their drive and their energizing of their operations. And good thing could come of it too. Um, let's focus though on treatment over punishment. All right, treatment over punishment, treatment over punishment. So some people refuse to change, and that's called a reprobate mind. And you just turn them over to Satan. Let Satan have them. The adversary got them, wants them, they want it. Just let them have each other. Let them be enemies of the state. Let them be enemies of our people. Let them be enemies of our healing. And let just cut them off from among you and come out from among them yourself. That's the only way you can deal with people like that. Quit hanging around them just to get high with them. All right, so you handle that part, and your recovery gets that much easier. Now you're getting ready to join a recovery group or go to treatment. And I've heard it said some people just too selfish to quit, and they will use and manipulate their families. I've seen that even recently, and call them all kind of bitches and hoes because they won't do what they want. Well, let's not be those kinds of people either. Let's not be false prophets and soothsayers about this shit. Now, I'm no fortune teller, but I've got to tell you something. Those kind of people will reap what they sow. They will. They will reap what they sow. So some people will find a way around their families and all the watching spying eyes so they can get somewhere and use drugs, and that's cool too. But for me personally, I'm not interested in that kind of behavior. Um, I'm not interested in having any followers with that kind of behavior in their hearts either. I'm interested in people who are looking to get better. You have to be real with yourself. You have to be real with other people. You have to be real with your government. And tell them, look, man, uh, I'm happy to get any kind of help I can get. I'm happy to be more useful and be a productive member of society. But it's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? I understand that it's kind of hard for a lot of people. Because you end up getting tattoos and you join a gang or you join a club or whatever it is. You work for the people or you hate people who work for the people or whatever. You hate the people. People hate you. And I get it. It all gets confusing. But it's about making up your mind that you are going to be a positive influence, a role model at some point, and that you are going to get your shit together, that you are going to do the right thing. And this is Christliness. Okay, this is godliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So you start with your hygiene, take care of yourself, wash your face, brush your teeth, grow a beard, whatever you got to do, so people quit judging you. Grow your hair out, cut your hair short, shave your beard, whatever it is that makes you feel like you've got a fresh start. Shave your whole body, shave your nuts and your dick and everything. Just take a picture of it and look at yourself like you look in the mirror and go, damn, that's me right there. Ain't nothing I can do to change it. And then throw that picture away, throw that mirror away, take it off the shelf for 30 days. Don't even look in it. And just give it 28 to 30, 31 days, somewhere in there. 40 days, 40 nights, whatever you got to do, and start fasting. Start fasting and praying to get rid of the familiar spirit that's around you that's causing you to continue this endless cycle of abuse of yourself. All right, so another thing that meth does when it breaks you down is, because it does do that, it breaks you down. Your lowered inhibitions and all of that. You get to really feeling yourself and understanding yourself better, maybe than some people ever could. But that may or may not be true for everybody. But what I'm trying to say is you get also into the dark places in your mind that you never would have gone had you not done the drugs. Okay, so that part can get confusing. What to do about that, maybe we'll talk about that another day. God bless you. Have a good one. Love you.